Peace. What up, y'all? It is the guy Anti-Simp back with a new video, and I wanted to talk about something I've been saying for a while now, but apparently it became a trending topic on Twitter. Most women aren't making a lot of money with OnlyFans. Now, I've said this in the past that they weren't making a lot of money, and I said that the average woman was making about $200. But with December rolling around and about 140,000 women were laid off or unemployed or whatever, and 100% of the women that were laid off happened. I said 100% of the layoffs were women, and throughout most of 2020 a lot of women have lost their jobs. They couldn't do both working and taking care of their children, so a lot of women ended up losing their jobs. Some of the more fortunate ones were able to just turn to their husbands, and maybe later on down the line they could actually afford to they could probably do other types of business or other types of jobs and side hustles. But with some other women, they had to turn to OnlyFans. That was all they could do. And the thing is like, when it comes to this OnlyFans things, I know women have been lying to other women and telling them that they can make a lot of money from there, but really only the top 1% are making a lot of money. The top 1% are making a lot of money. They're probably in the six-figure range, but women below that, they aren't really making serious money like that. You could be decent, you could be making decent money, but only the top 1% are making serious paper. And the thing about this is that the vast majority of women up there, they don't know how to sell and market themselves. They just said that I'm a woman, I got a cootie puff, and that's all it is to marketing for them. That's it. That's all that they do. And I want to say this: if you're a dude, getting upset that women have an OnlyFans, you got to stop, man. It doesn't make you look appealing at all. It doesn't sound cool. It just makes you sound like a hater. It makes you seem like you have a grudge against women because they didn't want to sleep with you. There's no real legitimate reason why you should have an issue with women making money and they haven't done anything to you. If they haven't done anything to you, why do you have an issue with them having an OnlyFans? Why does it bother you? Now, for the women who actually, that I actually see on social media that be trashing men, that be calling men broke and dusty, and saying that all types of misandrous or misandric things about us on social media, then that's a different story. They deserve the outcome that they're getting, because they don't have any sense whatsoever. First off, women be lying about that they're making a lot of bread up there. They aren't even in the top 20%. And second, for dudes to be tripping about women having an OnlyFans, the average woman is only making chump change, or they're barely making chump change. And realistically, if she doesn't already have a following on the other platforms, other social media platforms, realistically she'd be better off having a job. And based off of, I live in Philly, and right now I believe the unemployment rate the minimum wage, even at minimum wage, I believe you're making more money than the average OnlyFans girl. Let me look. Unemployment and not unemployment. I keep saying unemployment. My bad. What is the minimum wage in Philly?
$14.25.
What?
According to Ogletree Deacon.
I don't think that's true. I don't believe that's true at all. It says $14.25. Or what is the minimum wage in Philly? $14.25. I don't believe that's true. I just don't. That might be an increase later on, but I don't think that's true at all. I think that varies based on jobs. I don't think they're making $14.25 at McDonald's. But anyway, even if you were making minimum wage, which I doubt is $14 in Philly, but even if you were, you still, hypothetically, if our minimum wage, I think last year was around $7.25, or our minimum wage for the past 5 years has been $7.25, And based on the math, if you did 725 times 40, not 40, times 160, then you get about a grand, maybe $1,100 after taxes. So the average person making a minimum wage is doing more than the average OnlyFans girl, which I find funny because some of these OnlyFans girls that be on Twitter, man bashing, aren't even making that much money, but they're calling men dusty. Those are the type of women you can make fun of, and you can say whatever you want about them because they're broke and they're lying. You have to depend on that app to make money. They have to call themselves sex workers and all that other stuff. But if she doesn't have a large following, I highly doubt that she's making a lot of money. Because the average OnlyFans girl is making about $200. Every time a celebrity joins OnlyFans, the same community that would call us broke and dusty prove just how fragile and toxic the community is. And then they're like, they're talking about the celebrities coming up there and how they're competitive or whatever the case is. They're talking about you're taking away potential customers away. And it's like, that doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter that a market is saturated. It only matters with how you market and sell. Because every place is saturated. Damn near every place is saturated. Now, granted, if you're like, somebody who gets in on a market from the, as is, without a lot of attention on it, then yeah, you can stand to make a lot of money as being like the monopoly in that area. But once other people start to catch on that this is a place that they can go to make money, then it becomes a thing where you can still make money on it and you still have to, make various improvements. But yeah, once it becomes kind of saturated, your inner hustler should come out. Otherwise, you're not built for it. And what you're seeing is a lot of women aren't built for it. Whenever I see women, talking about, a celebrity coming up there is basically them taking clients away or customers away or potential customers away. First off, I want to say that you're not promised or entitled to those customers. And second off, you should work harder. If your content was that dope, it wouldn't bother you. You don't see Netflix complaining about Hulu or HBO complaining about Netflix. They start their own streaming services. And realistically, you start to see them increasing their prices. I've been with Netflix since 2012, 2011, and I've only seen their prices go up because they used to be $7.99 a month, and now I'm seeing them talking about $12.99. So if you you don't really see them lowering their prices or giving. I see Hulu doing that sometimes, but those are like, it's an advertisement thing. It's an advertising. That's actually marketing. You don't see broads actually advertising and marketing themselves correctly. With Hulu, you see a trailer, you know what you're getting out of this. You go to a chick's OnlyFans, and there's nothing really surprising or appealing about it. And therefore, a lot of these girls are not built for the business. That's another thing. A lot of them talk about it being a job. People tell them that it's a job, it's a full-time job. In a way it is, and in a way it isn't. It's a business. It's a business. You have something to sell to other people. It's a business. You should treat it like a business. A lot of girls aren't treating this like a real business. I don't even think the hard part is not even like it's like, I don't even think the hard part is the content, because you do those things every day anyway. You do sexual things anyway for free, so that wouldn't really be the hard part. The hard part is basically, you working on increasing your subscriber count. The marketing part, the selling yourself, that's what you have to work on. When I look at Netflix, I cannot wait for the next season of Cobra Kai. When I look at Netflix, I cannot wait for the next, what's up here? What's on my list? I'm going to browse my list very briefly to see if I can find other content. I can't wait for,
I finally got a chance to make...
Let me load this. I can't wait for the next season of The Big Show. I can't wait for the next season of Mr. Iglesias. I can't wait for the next, best anime. Another another streaming service that I use is Funimation. I can't wait for the next season of Attack on Titan or The Promised Neverland. I never get that feeling, you know, when I see a broad hustling her OnlyFans. I never see that. I never get that. I never get that feeling. I never get that feeling like I can't wait until she posts, you know, her more content. It always feels very generic or unappealing. It's not something I would pay for. But just because I wouldn't pay for it doesn't mean somebody else might not be able to wait for her to release her next content. But that's not how broads market themselves. They really need to sit down with somebody who is really thorough and got some game, and they could basically teach them how to market themselves better. But in the meantime, y'all really not built for that business. Y'all really not. And in some regards, when it comes to that business, you're going to have to give some things away for free in order to get people to care about your content. But like I said, you know, y'all not really built for the business, and y'all really fooling yourselves. But what can you do? You know, among 100% of the layoffs in December, they were women. Women were among 100% of the layoffs in December, and them layoffs was around 140,000. On top of many of the layoffs that happened throughout the year of 2020. Here's what I find most interesting is that Glennon Cameron over at Disruptive Male has an OnlyFans, and all he's talking about is his past experiences with women. He's basically sharing dirty stories with his fans, and what's sad and has to be a blow to the average OnlyFans chest is that this is a guy telling stories fully clothed when they're half naked or fully in the nude, and this guy who's fully clothed is a fully clothed man is already in the top 20% of content creators. And to be in the top 20% of content creators, you basically have to be making about $500 a month, which isn't a lot when you're depending on it. As a little side hustle, it's definitely a decent amount of money to have as side hustle money. But as your only source of income, that is not a lot. I predicted last year that prostitution was going to be going up, you know, and this OnlyFans thing is definitely, if you're selling nudes or the concept of sex on OnlyFans, it is a form of prostitution. You know, it's your only source of income. Anyway, this is all the time that I care for this to give this video. If you found it informative, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel for my next, so you can get notifications for my next video. If you'd like to support the channel, I have my OnlyFans in the description. I also have my my book. If you'd like to check out my book, Stop Simping, Game for Men. I also have various t-shirts and apparel on my website, stopsimpingnow.com. And I will catch you guys at my next video. Peace.